From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your afternoon update.
Well, good Wednesday afternoon. Taylor Plott here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check on your forecast. Temperatures continue to trend above average as we begin the month of October. But what are the actual temperatures supposed to be this time of year? And when will we actually start to see that fall weather really start to move on in, at least on average? I have that answer here. Let's get right into it. Take a look at the meteorological fall climatological data. And I will say, obviously, meteorological fall started in September. So you can see that chart start at 89 degrees on the 1st of September. But we're all the way over here at 79. That should be our average high for this time of year as we enter the month of October. So while it still is relatively warm, and obviously we're above average right now across the region, we'll start to see our temperatures dip back down. We expect the mid-70s for highs on average once we get to the middle part of October. Now, once we get to that kind of Halloween timeline, beginning of November, that's when we really start to see our average high dip down below 70 degrees. Should be right around 69 degrees on November 1st. So while we are warm right now, just give it a little bit and we will start to see those cooler temperatures start to settle in across the region and stick around more frequently. Now, take a look at your lows. I will say we've been roughly around that average, right around 58 degrees. That should be our average low as we begin the month of October. We'll be getting down close to that once again over the next handful of days. But once we get to the middle part of October, down to the lower 50s, and then by the time we get to that Halloween and beginning of November, all the way down into the 40s for your average lows. Take a look at some other data here. Average high roughly across the entirety of the month, right around 75 degrees. And then our average low right around 51 degrees as well. Look at that record high. Got up to 100 degrees in 2019. I remember that year very well. That was a hot one for sure across the Tennessee Valley going back to the summer months. Record low all the way down into the lower 20s. 23 degrees, record low back in 1917. Now, rainfall, we're still relatively during our dry period in October. It's not until November, December we really start to see our rainfall creep back up. But we still average around 3.47 inches of rainfall, and our max snowfall, no snow in the month of October. I will say no snow today for sure. Temperatures up into the middle 80s today with just some passing clouds. So while you saw that climate data, we should be in the upper 70s for highs. Just give it some time. We'll get there. We don't anticipate that, at least in the near term, across the region. Take a look at your hometown forecast today. Mid-80s across southern Tennessee, across the state line, more of the same. Mid, maybe even some upper 80s across parts of the northern Alabama area. Evening forecast, any shower that tries to develop today will quickly fade away with the loss of daytime heating. Just some passing clouds expected. Temperatures dipping down into the upper 60s by the time we hit 10 p.m., down into the lower 60s across southern Tennessee tonight, low to mid 60s anticipated across northern Alabama. Going into tomorrow, still dealing with those mid 80s for the majority of the area, maybe some upper 80s, especially for parts of the Shoals, maybe the Huntsville metro area coming in that mid to upper 80 range. Take a look at your future cast over the next several hours. Spotty shower possible, mainly west of 65 today. A lot of places just remaining nice and dry. Once we get to the evening hours, those quickly move on off and fade away. And we are absolutely dry going into the overnight hours with not a lot of cloud cover moving on through. So by the time we wake up on your Thursday morning, we're expecting mostly sunny, if not abundant sunshine out there. And that should continue for the majority of your Thursday. Just a few passing clouds. I think any shower chances that you see here will remain east of our viewing area for your Thursday. And then for Friday, same thing. Maybe just a little bit more cloud cover to work with for your Friday, but should be absolutely dry. That changes, though, once we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. 20% Sunday, 40% on Monday, 30% on Tuesday. I'm not really thinking we're looking at big-time widespread shower and storm activity, but I do anticipate that there could be a good amount of coverage of those showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder. Let's talk about it. Friday, high pressure is still situated across the eastern U.S. That keeps that lid on the shower and storm chances. Once we get to the weekend, though, tropical moisture from the Gulf starts to creep on in from the south. That will lead to some of those isolated to widely scattered showers on Sunday. Better chances, though, as you see here coming in on your Monday, and that continues into your Tuesday as well. So dry weather will be coming to an end once we get into the end of that 7-day period, as you see there. We do have that cool down Friday and Saturday. We will get into the upper 70s and lower 80s. I think there's a lot more lower 80s, though, than upper 70s across the area. Our lows, though, will be getting back down into that middle 50 range once we get into the next handful of days. And then, like I said, we got those rain chances coming up at the end of the 7-day forecast.